All right, before we start the show today, before the music even comes on, I wanted to shout out some prayers to Lawrence Moten's family. Just passed away here recently at the age of 53. I believe it was yesterday. He was found in his Washington, D.C. home. And I can just say, when I was a kid in the early 90s, it was Derek Coleman and then it was Lawrence Moten. And I've got 3 signed Syracuse jerseys that I had to have for a long time, and I finally got them. And two of the 3 are Coleman and Moten. And I'll never forget, Joe, you remember this? The hike in the socks phase was all the rage in the early 90s. There wasn't a kid in Syracuse that wasn't doing that and trying to set that trend. He set a trend all throughout Syracuse with the hiked up socks, and just an absolute legend for Syracuse basketball from 91 to 95. Big East Rookie of the Year for 91-92 year. First team All Big East 93, 94, 95. All-American in 95. An all-time leading scorer for Syracuse basketball still to this day with 2,334 points. An absolute legend, taken away from us way too young. And he was doing a podcast, I believe, a football podcast for Orange Nation, or basketball podcast for Orange Nation last year. And he's been still around the program despite being up in D.C. and just an absolute legend and, a childhood hero from the golden days of Syracuse basketball.
No, yeah, dude. I mean, that was the first person. I knew that. Obviously, as you get older, the Billy Owens and the this and the that, but I didn't remember as a kid watching Derek Coleman and Ronnie Cycli and Pearl and Billy Owens and Sherman Douglas. That was like the right after this, right?
This is the next
first big guy, right?
Yeah.
I remember him and Michael Edwards, Dave Johnson. He was on Adrian Autry and Mike Hopkins. Both were on that team. Conrad McRae. That was the first team that I remembered. My brother Wes, he jacked his socks up. And we used to make fun of him because he'd wear white socks all the way up to his knees, and it was because of Poetry and Moten, right? And to have him come in, he held down a 4-year, Syracuse run where, I know they made tournaments and, NCAA tournaments and everything. I don't think they really went too far in any of them, but coming in as a true freshman, scoring 18 points, then almost another 18 the next year, 21.5. He set up the next part of Syracuse basketball because, his senior year was 94-95. He got drafted by the Grizzlies. It was the first year in the NBA, and next year, guess what it was? 95-96. Cuse is in the house. Oh my God. Right? Set it up with John Wallace, those boys, Otis Hill. So that was the first beginning part of me becoming completely obsessed with Syracuse basketball. And rest in peace, buddy. Yeah,
rest in peace. Prayers to his family, like I said. In fact, he signed everything that he signed. I got a couple things, and he always put poetry in parentheses. And just an absolute legend, and it's gonna be a little different not seeing him around once in a while. And like I said, prayers to his family.
Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Thursday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe for the Believe Entertainment Network at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the Militia live on X Spaces for the fan feedback segment of every post-game show. Syracuse travels to Dallas this week to take on SMU. Vegas doesn't like Syracuse's odds, but the last time Vegas didn't like Syracuse's odds, they overcame by much more than what they needed to pull that win off in Clemson. So you'll hear from us and we'll hear from you. We're late, a couple of days late. That's okay. As long as it's before the game, it's not late, technically. So welcome in. Joe.
Sean.
That was very delayed. You listened to the presser. I listened to the presser. We always talk about the presser, but we try to before we go ahead and start this. Ricky Collins stayed back with Coach till about midnight-ish to watch tape. They went over everything. They had some bonding time. Gives you a little bit of feel good just to know that, you know, doing what any good quarterback would do, which is relive his mistakes hours after them and try to get better. So that's a good sign. Some questions from, you know, last week. Coach is trying to move on, the typical thing. But I mean, I think that was pretty much it. Did you get anything else out of that?
Yeah, Sean. I mean, that was one of the biggest things that I picked up on. Obviously, is just the kid. He wants to get better. The game didn't go the way he wanted it to, and you know, he took the time out with his head coach to, you know, like you said, bonding moment, but also to sit back and where he messed up. Right? It wasn't like he had to tell him. Like Ricky could watch the tape and be like, "Oh, up with him," or "Oh, I stand on that work back." So it's good to know that he's got the awareness level to be able to watch himself in tape and understand it. And then now we just got to implement it to the field. You know, obviously, you know, we knew that this was going to be an issue. But, you know, it was the same thing with Steve Angeli. Like the first game against Tennessee, people were like, "Oh, where's Ricky Collins?" And then, you know, he figured it out. So not going to be so negative after, you know, obviously it's easy to be the damn, you know, Sunday morning quarterback on the sofa and talk like this season's over. Things up and everything like that. But just because he played one bad game doesn't mean that.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. We'll return to our program shortly.
Yeah, a couple other things I realized, Sean, is that these reporters, they still asking him the questions that he's not going to answer. So that's always fun when you get the injuries and the last games, and he has to try to tiptoe around that without being so rude because we know that he's already gone past that, right? So hopefully as the season goes on, those answers become more and more entertaining.
He kept his cool for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. And, I think the other thing that kind of just resonated with me was the fact of just we spoke about it in the preview about how the coaches are going to have this team prepared, and these players are, you know, defense is going to have to show up. Players around him, they're going to have to show up for Ricky in his first start. And, you know, they obviously didn't. Our post-game podcast, we talked about how they didn't, and Ricky needed more help, and he just didn't get it. And it was just, you know, good to hear that Coach he understood that as well. When he went back and looked, and he saw how everything was going, he saw that, you know, maybe not everything was on Ricky. You know, maybe Ricky wasn't that bad. Maybe it was just he didn't get the cast around him that he needed, the help around him, the extra that he needed for his first start. So, again, just move forward, and they do it, you know, one day at a time.
How long before, you know, you lose the fan base to the point where, you know, you got to win, right? I think winning solves all problems in sports when it comes to everything, right? But, you know, you can go through and look at the comments from last week, or not just on our post, but just through social media. And I know social media is not real life, but there is a trend, if anything, it rhymes, right? I mean, there's a similarity between social media and real life when it comes to fan bases. And they're going to Texas this week, right? So, you come back and you have a big game against Pittsburgh at home.
Yeah.
Gonna need the fan base there. And I don't think they come close without a good chunk of fans there. So, I mean, I feel like you go and you drop 2 in a row and come back and play Pitt. I mean, I feel like mentally for a team, now there's always a chance, right? And every athlete is got the mindset, well, we can win at any time, right? But you go out and lose this game and have to play a big game at home against a good Pitt team. That's a worry, right? I mean,
yeah, of course it is. But again, too, I think, and again, everybody's different, right? And they call it, a fan is short for fanatics for a reason, right? But, we spoke about, and a lot of people spoke about, the expectations of this year. And the questions were, are we going to get a bowl game, right? Because of how difficult this schedule was. And I just think that as the season goes on, like, you have to be able to heed your expectations. Obviously, I was thinking we were going to be 7-5, 6. I think I picked 6-6. You guys picked 7-5 to make the bowl game. But yeah, dude, it's a situation where, where we see Angeli get a little bit better as fans, and then we go and beat Clemson, and I think instantly your expectations go up, right? But then Angeli goes down, and then I think we have to go back to that baseline of, okay, well, we might have got a leg up here because we got that Clemson win, but Steve Angeli's he's not here anymore, right? So what's going to happen from there? And I trust the culture. I trust the coaches. If they mess up, then they're gonna figure it out, right? At some point. So to me, the expectations still have to be kind of where they were before, or maybe even a little lowered. But also, too, the expectations should be that we get better every year. Or sorry, not every year, every week.
Every year too.
Well, yeah, but the weaknesses that are shown, coaches hit on them, and then we get a little bit better. Last year we had that culture where we didn't know what we were going to do, and then we lost a couple bad games, but then we evolved, we got better, and by the end of the year we had a pretty good team, and I think we ended up with a season that surprised a lot of fans. I still don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility. I just think that because of the injury to QB1 and because of the difficulty of our schedule, I think that we just have to be able to just heed our expectations, understand the situation, but also still expect improvements and not teams giving up, parts of the team giving up or anything like that. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
Right. Well, let's dive in. We got a minimal cluster of comments for the final score predictions from social media. It did not travel well. I bring up what I bring up, honestly, a little bit based off of that. And you can tell the difference, and this is why I'm mentioning this, because you can tell the difference on social media when a team is winning and when they're losing. Just the same as you can tell a difference on downloads of a podcast.
Right.
When a team is winning and when a team is losing. There's no doubt in the fact that affects asses in the seats. People aren't going to comment on social media and they're not going to get their asses up off the couch and go to a game.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I bring it up. I mean, some of this stuff is timing with social media when you post stuff, but just in general, just to be totally transparent. I mean, when we're doing good, social media does well, right? And I mean, downloads do well too. And I mean, I care about downloads, but I don't. But obviously, winning drives all things. So, SMU is a 16.5-point favorite. I don't know if they are right now, but that's what they were yesterday when I was looking this up. So the over-under sitting at around 58.5. The two teams have met only once back in 1932, one of Joe's favorite years. SMU won that one, 16-6. So 0-1 goes to the Mustangs all time in this one. So they come in with an offense that's moving the ball pretty good. 422 yards per game. They're ranked 52nd in the country as far as total offense. Quarterback Kevin Jennings, he's thrown for over 1,100 yards, like 1,121 or something like that in 4 games. He spreads it around pretty good. Romeo Brinson is his top target, and leading running back TJ Harden, who already has just over 300 yards on the ground, and he's getting them at 5.4 yards a clip on 57 carries. So they do have a pretty balanced offense. Defensively, though, like if you have an Angeli, and I'm just throwing it out there, I mean their defense stinks. I mean they do have some decent guys, and they can create turnovers, which is obviously big, but they're ranked 122nd in total defense. They're giving up just about 460 yards a game, especially through the air. They're dead last actually in passing yards allowed in the country at 134th. They give up on average 335. So like I mentioned, they have created turnovers. They're ranked 7th with turnovers gained. And I think they have 9 right now, and it's a tie for 7th with a bunch of teams, but just a lot of work for them to do there. There's mostly their offense that's carrying them, and they've played some pretty good schools too, so you can't really gather a whole lot. I mean, you can a little bit, and they hung tough with a couple of them. I think Baylor was a 2 overtime loss by 3. And then you had, I think, a win over Missouri, and then TCU, another decent team. Missouri State, I'm sorry. You're right. And then another decent team in TCU, which was in regulation. TCU won by 11. So I think, for Syracuse coming into this game and just being competitive, surviving the injury bug, obviously it's huge that Ricky Collins has time to guide the offense. He's going to need a pocket that is going to stay clean for a little bit longer. He needs to not hold the ball so long. He's struggled there. I think, watching tape with coach, like we mentioned, could be huge with those little things that are really fixable. I noticed that one of the things out of the gate on the presser was that someone had asked a question in regard to the Duke defense coming out and saying that they were just watching his eyes and they knew where to be, like basically reading his mind through his eyes, right? Yep. And you mentioned that in the post game, and coach was asked, is that something that's easily fixable? Well, I mean, that's a habit, right? That's a habit. I think it's a little bit of a habit, but a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a comfort thing, right? Yeah. Like an experience. I mean, it's a lot of things. So, I mean, at the end of the day, coach he didn't dodge the answer, but he kind of, he gave like a basic answer, like, everybody struggles with that or something to that effect. And maybe you can clear that up for me, 'cause I forget. But, to me personally, like if defenses are noticing that and they're saying that, what do you think the next defense is going to do? And if it's successful, what do you think that next defense is going to do? Right. So, that's concerning, but sitting down and watching the tape, I think obviously is a growth thing, and that stuff does not happen overnight. It's a great step in the right direction. I think it creates, accountability, and it goes to the culture, which is accountability, but also just being, putting yourself out there to, just admit your mistakes and overcome them.
Yeah.
And like we talked about, like trying to legit like fix any of the issues.
Yeah.
So anyways, what do you think about SMU? What do you think about our offense versus their defense? That is where, that's where we have a place. We haven't scored a touchdown in a game. So we've got to score. We've got to score touchdowns. Right. And, you know, coach also said something he was asked a question and I'm just remembering these things as I talk. He was asked a question about, you know, what do you got to do differently to win? And he sat there and I felt like I was in his body. Cause sometimes we sit in here like, what does Syracuse have to do to win? Right. And basically you say, well, you got to win the turnover battle. Like he gave all the basic answers, right? Well, we got to tackle. We got to score more points, right? I mean, and that's it. But like, you know, you feel like the answers are simple, but the progress with what we've got in with Ricky being so inexperienced, it feels like a long road to hoe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, first thing, don't fumble.
Don't fumble. Yeah, don't. But like I said, win the turnover battle.
Got to show up, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's really the one thing that I noticed. And you look at SMU, they're hard to judge because they had their FCS school first, and then they had Baylor. I don't even know how good. I mean, Baylor's Baylor, but they're not. It's not like they're ranked or anything. I think they're 3-2, and that was like a double overtime game. Baylor put up like 600 yards or something in that game, but. I noticed in that game, SMU, they threw the ball probably 1/3 of the time and ran the ball 2/3 of the time because that's what was working. They played Missouri State, beat them 28-10, and it was pretty much 50-50. Then you move forward to the TCU game, and they were down, and they were throwing more than they were running, and they ended up losing by the biggest margin. So to me personally, I think that they want to have a balanced attack with maybe a little bit of RPO and maybe some more runs, but it looks like they're going to try to their offense is going to kind of move towards what your weakness on defense is that they're playing against. And even right now, I don't think I haven't watched them play. I watched a little bit of the SMU TCU game. I don't think that they're as good as they were last year. But when your only losses are TCU and Baylor, and then you're coming off a bye week, then and you're at home. It just doesn't make it easy for us. And as far as our offense goes and Ricky Collins, I told you, I mean, I saw him just staring down receivers, right? And it's just, again, a lot of it is part of development, right? Like you say, it's a habit. Well, you know, in high school, a lot of times these guys are so damn athletic, and they got athletic teammates that
the talent gap is large.
Right. So when that comes into play is when you got to get the ball, pocket 1, 2, 3. Okay, get rid of it. Right. A lot of times Ricky, you probably had time to get out of the pocket, extend the play, and then all of a sudden now you're doing the scramble drill where you got receivers that aren't even running the routes anymore. They're just running into the open, and then you get a chance to read the whole field, right? So this definitely comes with being comfortable, being confident. And sometimes when you're new and it's your first start and you're in the pocket and it's collapsing, you have your first read, and sometimes you get stuck on that because you're afraid to go to another one, or you're afraid to look off your first read, look off the safety and the defense, and then come back to it real quick because you just don't have that comfortability. So there's no doubt in my mind that was a majority of what they were talking about between that and his footwork in the pocket. That was what they were talking about, him and Fran, when they were going through the tape. It's something that obviously has to get fixed. But that only comes, again, to Tyler's point before, with reps and with comfortability with your offensive line, with your teammates, with your receivers. And that's going to take time. The only thing I'm looking for just getting better.
Right.
Like, can he make steps every week to show me that he's improving to where he can get that confidence and be comfortable? Because if he doesn't get that confidence and he doesn't have his team around him playing, then he's never going to be comfortable to do what he needs to do to make those passes.
Yeah, the team's got to help him out too. Like, I mean, the supporting cast has got to step up and do their part. You know, that's kind of what broke down. I felt like at whatever point it was, where it was unbearable to watch, but I still did. I felt like that was the biggest problem. They just weren't playing as a team, and it wasn't a good look. And I don't want to speculate on anything, but it just didn't look great to me. And I felt like that you wanted them to pull and push and just do a little bit, go the extra mile for a brand spanking ass new quarterback in his first ever collegiate start. I just feel like that's just how I felt. I don't know if that's true, but perception's reality, and that's how I felt. So anyway, anything to say on the offense? Because, it is hard to gauge it a little bit. We don't know who Baylor is, but I mean, Baylor lost by 2 touchdowns to Auburn. I don't even know who Auburn is right now, but when they beat SMU was ranked 17th. Mm-hmm. A win over Samford, which is garbage, right? And then a 3-point loss to Arizona State, and then Oklahoma State's not who they have been in the past either. That was kind of an ass whooping. So, we really don't know. And I agree with you. I don't think SMU is as good this year as they were last year. But at the end of the day, I don't know who they are this year. I could just tell you that I agree with you. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. That's right. That's pretty much it. But all of the question marks included and taken into consideration, the offense hums. They score points, they put up yards.
Yeah, exactly. They score points, they put up yards. So again, we need our offense to, and obviously too, like, again, in the day and age of the NIL, where you have so much turnover, then sometimes it takes a month in the season to figure out and get everyone, on the same page,
I agree. This is game 6 though, man, halfway through the year.
It's only game 5 for SMU, and they're coming off a bye.
Well, true.
You're talking about Texas money, Dallas NIL money, so they have the players, right? So, and obviously the coaches got them there last year. Then this team too, when you think about it, we can say they might not be as good as last year, but with that being said, their 2 losses are to non-conference teams, so they haven't even played an ACC opponent yet, which means right now their chance to get to the ACC championship game is up for grabs. I mean, when you look at them, at Clemson, which again is Clemson, home against Louisville, and then home against Miami. Everything else probably going to be a win for them. Knock on wood that Syracuse can, obviously. I wanted them to come up with an upset, but SMU is in a situation now where this might be their get it right game.
All of this, everything's there. The ingredients are in the pot for it.
Yeah. Right.
So,
So their offense is good. We're going to need our defense to step up. We're going to have to win the turnover battle for sure. Our supporting cast is definitely going to have to show up better than they did last game.
defense too. This is you're facing a high-powered offense, at least on the stat sheet, right?
The whole team, including coaches, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and head to, I'll do Twitter, Joe, if you can pull up Facebook, if you choose to do so. I only got 6 on Twitter, bro.
Oh, well, there's 11 here, but there's...
What? Guys on Twitter, bro. You're going to let Facebook put up more points than you? That's crazy. And I retweeted it. I retweeted my own tweet. Like a bum. I felt like such a bum doing that.
Right.
We shouldn't have to do that. Anyway, at Theo Cuse 3510. Oh, wait, stop. Halt. Hold the presses. Our preview, our predictions come first. So, the last time I picked against SU, they won. So, I'm going to do it again. I don't know. This is going to be a great test. This is going to be a great test coming off an ass whooping and then going on the road. And to your point, Joe, a team that has coming off a bye, has all the ingredients for an uphill battle for Syracuse. in the position that they're in, and with an inexperienced quarterback, I just think that the deck is stacked against them right now. And my gut tells me they can't pull this game off. I think they get in the end zone, hopefully. But I've got 35-17 SMU.
Wow.
Look, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to change it.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, guys. I know everybody hates me. I know. So, I mean,
No, sure everybody's kind of.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer either. I mean, I think we make strides. I think we played better this game than we did last game. And I mean, maybe Duke's really good. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole thing. We don't know.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think we know who we are, though, at the very least right now. I think I know where we're at.
I don't even think that.
I do, kind of. I think I know where we're at right now. I feel like we do. I feel like definitely after this game, if it goes the way I feel in my gut, we're all going to know where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's hope I'm wrong. And I was happy to be wrong against Clemson. It was a great win. Hopefully that stays a good win. By the way, Clemson at UNC, I think, this weekend. That's a game I'm looking out for. Even though UNC stinks. But you got to see Clemson bounce back.
Yeah.
I think it's at UNC. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, obviously, is we need to win the turnover battle, look disciplined, let SMU get the penalties and turnovers, allow us to keep us in the game. But really, it's just limit the big plays, too.
Yeah, they have a thing for big plays, SMU.
Yep. Yes, they do. So I'm kind of right there with you. I think that Syracuse, they step up. I think it's easier to sit here and say after last week, oh, they're going to get killed by SMU. But I have a little bit closer, I think, than you. Yeah, I definitely do. I have SMU 30.
30, that's a weird number.
And Syracuse 21. SMU kicks a late field goal to make it a 9-point game and put it out of reach.
Looks like a lot of field goals there, right?
3.
No, 3, yeah.
2? 3? Yeah.
It's 2. No, it's...
Missed a PAT?
It's yeah. If they miss a PAT, it's 2. If they don't, it's 3. Okay. Well, let's pick up where I left off. Hopefully, we're both wrong. I like your score. You want to see it be competitive, and like you said, I think I'm in total agreement. Like you want to see Ricky Collins in particular progress.
Yeah.
So, this will be a good game for us. A huge test for everybody. At Theo Cuse, 35-10, SMU rolls. Just want to see improvement in smooth, sustained drives on offense. Defense, pressure QB, get 2 turnovers, and the defense playing on their toes and not on their heels. I mean, always come out and punch them in the mouth on both sides of the ball. That's how they beat Clemson. They got ahead so quick before Clemson could even blink. And whether they're good or bad, it didn't matter because they didn't even have a chance to catch their breath. So, same philosophy.
Yeah. Oh, now you're a philosophizer.
Now I'm a philosophizist. Let's see. At R. Prosner, 10-42 defeat. Cuse 10 is mopping up garbage in the 4th. That's a sad prediction. Offense sputters and D lays another egg. Now that it's been said, the opposite is bound to happen. Give it my track record. Always love your pod and NF Joe's ketchup eating opinions. Did you see Twitter with the football players being asked what they want on their hot dogs?
Mm.
We're gonna play that. We're gonna play that at the end because I will play it at the end. At PJ-esque. Nope. He refuses. At OLQs, our buddy Captain Patrick. What did you have? You had 31-27. 31-24. Defense scores a TD along with special teams. The SMU secondary is trash, and Collins finds a way to complete enough passes to move the ball. 31-24 Cuse, he said, if I didn't say it. He has been strangely optimistic through difficult times, Captain Patrick has been. And I like that. I do. It gives me hope. Yep. So it's contagious, Patrick. Thank you.
You must be eating hot dogs with ketchup.
I don't think Patrick's eating hot dogs with ketchup. By the way, a couple people tagged me on this post, but it was Captain Patrick's text message that brought me to Twitter today to see it, because he sent me the direct tweet via text. So anyways, I appreciate that. At David Super, buy, sell, or hold. I have not read this. Orange football wins an ACC championship before the Cuse militia becomes an actual militia. What is IYKYK?
If you know, you know.
Oh, if you know, you know. Okay. All right. Sorry. That was good, Joe. I'm impressed. I didn't think you were going to get that because I've never seen it. Yeah. If you know, you know. Buy, sell, or hold. Hold. I'm playing. Yeah, it's good. I like it. I love I love the creativity of certain people. David, Stewart. What's our boy? Jesse? Right? Yeah. At TK, I don't get this one. I don't get the handle. At TK, TCon Bird app. I don't know. Honestly, just want to see improvement. Totally with you. Ricky was a first-time starter. Totally true. May take some time for the game to slow down, to be expected, but defense and special teams took a step back, and that was the doom spiral. I mean, that's a very well put, thought out, short, sweet comment. Joe, that's all I got on Twitter. They disappointed us. And to everybody that did post, we appreciate you. And people who didn't, we are disappointed in you.
Everyone who posted, send Sean your address. I'll send you a ketchup
packet.
So I'm not going to read all of them. I'm not going to just read numbers.
Fair.
So I will read the ones that are here. I'll start with the first one, Ted. Kind of the same way that some of the other, comments on X, but SMU 35, Syracuse 14. Ricky needs to look like he belongs, and the defense needs to look like they understand what they are doing. Just improve. So a lot of comments like that, right, where they just want to see improvement, right? Top fan John.
Let's go, John.
56-0 SMU, unless Ricky and the defense get their heads out of their ass. Yeah, no, it's pretty rough. See, top fan Dom.
Oh, yeah, Dom, with the admission of the voice to text via DM. Go ahead.
He says, Fran says only losers predict losses. I am not a loser. I am not a loser. I am not a loser. Syracuse 20, SMU 19. I don't have an answer. And he said, I don't have an answer as to why, other than that, I'm not a loser.
Oh, jeez. You guys are awesome.
Dom. And the only other one worth speaking of, top fan.
Oh, jeez. 3 top fans. Oh, yeah, Andy. I said Jesse, by the way. It's Andy. I knew I was wrong. And you were like, yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's a Jesse out there, too. He said, I'll be there, so I'm hoping for a good game. But in reality, I can't see the defense improve in one game. We literally have an old-school Pac-12 defense without a Pac-12 offense. What could go wrong? I'm assuming Syracuse will run heavily in this game and possibly try to keep the score from being lopsided. 34-21 SMU.
34-21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's too bad. By the way, I'm sorry, Andy. That was terrible of me. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's about right.
Awesome that he's going to the game, though. Be pretty sweet to.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler should go to that game. I mean, he's in Houston. That's in Dallas, right?
Yes.
How far is that? Isn't that the Tri-Cities area?
I have no idea, dude. Texas is a humongous state.
I know. All right, let's play this from Syracuse Athletics. It was put out or sponsored by Hoffman. So let's take a listen.
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Ketchup. Both.
Neither.
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Mustard.
Neither. Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Ketchup. Mustard is no bueno.
Ketchup.
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 Neither.
Ketchup. Ketchup.
Definitely ketchup.
Guys, that was 15 for ketchup. 15. And I had to say, I counted 15 of my favorite athletes that don't know how to eat hot dogs. Okay? It's very disappointing. I don't know what part of the country these guys come from.
I mean, what if you've just been wrong this whole time? Like, I mean, what if...
No, I'm not wrong.
Why?
Because I'm not. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
You and Captain Patrick? Huh?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
It depends on what kind of description you
No,
want.
bro. It's not a sandwich. It's a hot dog on a bun. It's called a hot dog bun, not a sandwich bun.
Looks pretty close to a hoagie to me.
By the way Joe is sticking up for ketchup right now, just it etches it in stone for everybody who has ever heard him deny the glorious ketchup on the hot dog.
I'm playing devil's advocate because I don't agree with it either. I just
Came
think it's
pretty
hilarious.
easy.
Really?
Very, very easy.
Really?
Well, look, it's too bad, and it's also too bad. I still love you guys, all of my Cuse football players, but I don't know, man. I mean, especially a Hoffman hot dog, dude. You throw ketchup on a Hoffman hot dog, you just ruined it. You ruined it.
Look, you have to understand these are young people, just like your son who ate a hot dog with ketchup on it. At tailgate.
It hurts.
You know,
It
it's
hurts.
one of those things where when you grow up as a kid, ketchup's a lot easier to eat than mustard. That's like
Oh, Dylan doesn't eat mustard.
See? That's what I mean. It's that whole vinegar thing. It takes a little while to catch up. With hot dogs or with ketchup, it's like hot dogs.
It's sugar. It's because they add sugar to it.
Well, that too, right? French fries, dino nuggets, fish sticks. You know what I mean? Your kids aren't eating tartar sauce. That's ketchup. Everything's ketchup. Takes a little while.
I mean, I suppose it's true. But these are grown-ass men. They're young grown-ass men, but they're grown-ass men.
They're what? A couple years older than your son?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's disappointing.
Give it time.
Okay. I thought that was funny. I thought we'd throw it in there because you reminded me of it right at the end here. So, anyway, look, 3:30 game. Okay, get your errands done and get your ass to the dome if you can, or be attentive on the couch if possible, and we'll enjoy a game. I want to see a competitive, tough game. I want to see fight. I want to see camaraderie, and I want to see some touchdowns. For the love of Pete, some freaking touchdowns. So that's not too much to ask. It is football after all. I think we will. You seen Willis is going to get fed like a hog, and it's going to open up some things. And why we've keep talking about it and never doing it is beyond me, but I've got to imagine that it shall be done.
Yeah.
So, because this defense ain't great, but they do give up a lot of yards through the air. So, anyway, it is what it is. All right, that is going to do it for us. And so glad that we could get here this week for you. Sorry we were late. I apologize. But we'll be back here Sunday, hopefully talking about a win and Syracuse football proving Joe and I both wrong. Until then, for Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.